The Dark Maze's purpose and possibilities has been a point of contention since it opened. An incredibly dangerous, nearly pitch-black maze, seemingly cut off from all other sectors, where zombies spawn from unfindable spawners, grievous walk in broad daylight, or what can be called daylight in there anyway, and where a strange light emanates from its center. What is the purpose of this dark maze, and why does it seem to have such an effect on characters such as Kyle? I think the first thing I want to mention is Kyle's dream. As Kyle was leaving the dark maze, something happened. He suddenly convulsed into his own mind and had a conversation with a voice claiming to be his subconscious. All of this takes place in an area which has a striking resemblance to the San Francisco Bay Area, but it's empty of people. While there, he has a conversation with the mysterious voice, which encourages him to go into the maze and be a better leader than Owen, as Kyle feels as if Owen has let them down by stopping expeditions into the maze and such, as well as building on his insecurities and making him believe that he has done things that he can never come back from and never be forgiven for, such as locking Crow in the prison or being unable to save Gracie. Now the voice claims that San Francisco area, this area that we're seeing, is from his memories, but there is no one there as a reflection of what Kyle is feeling, emptiness, and being unable to get out of the maze. This implies that Kyle may have grown up in the Bay Area, perhaps indicating that this takes place in America, similar to the original Maze Runner trilogy. Furthermore, this voice calls Akko his brother. Now, there are two ways of looking at this. One, Akko and Kyle are just such close friends that they are essentially brothers in Kyle's mind. The second is that they are actually blood relatives. This is where it gets interesting. Akko and Kyle are both from District 3, Division 6. So it is very likely that both Akko and Kyle lived in the Bay Area before the maze, and Akko may actually be his younger brother, and this may be why Akko is so forgiving. You see, Kyle quickly judges and makes impulsive decisions, which often ends him up in bad situations as he is with Crow. Akko growing up with him would have made him very forgiving, as he would have wanted to have a good relationship with his brother, who would have tried to protect him like he does in the maze. That's why Kyle's greatest fear is doing something so bad that Akko doesn't forgive him. Because if Akko doesn't forgive him, no one will, and that's what the voice claiming to be his subconscious preys on, to encourage him to go into the maze, so he doesn't cause any more damage through these impulsive decisions. He wants to go back to where the worst things he could conceivably do were forgivable, like forgetting to come to work, so he knows he will always have Akko. Also, if you're wondering how I'm so sure it's the Bay Area, he enters through what looks a lot like the Caldecott Tunnel, but still, a bit circumstantial. Anyway, this voice claiming to be his subconscious is almost definitely not his subconscious. There are two parties that benefit from someone going into the maze: the creators and the egg. If you're unfamiliar with egg theory and or suicide experiment theory, go watch both of these videos here and they go over both theories. I'm going to go over egg first because it's less likely. As has been explained in actual Dream SMP lore, the egg draws power from death, and due to the maze being a death experiment explained in this video, the egg wants people to go into the maze so they die and it gets stronger. Now, I think the egg is located here, just over this wall, and Kyle came up in a clearing next to it that was overrun with egg grass and such. Now, the egg's influence on Kyle, essentially, in simple terms, Kyle putting Crow in the prison would encourage Crow to be violent again. And of course, the egg wants Crow to keep its violent ways, since that means more death, and so does going into the maze. Kyle, having been in close proximity to the egg, could have it in its head. And the egg is whispering to him here, telling him to go into the maze. The egg certainly has connections to the dark maze, as once again explained in this video, but with even the existence of the egg in the Outsiders universe, it's circumstantial at best. Now for the second, more likely theory about the creators. I've had this theory for a while, and it's basically that each outsider has one creator who is responsible for them to make sure they don't break any rules. The person I'm not going to name had their alternate version. Owen's was Ash, Magic was the one up on the wall here, and Kyle's is who's speaking to him now. The only time we have seen anything similar to what happened to Kyle here is with Owen. For some reason, Ash was his most trusted voice, and appeared in his head to guide him through this mental breakdown looking thing. Most likely because a comatose person isn't as helpful as a psychopathic demon killer in a death experiment. Anyway, Ash was the one that coached him through it though, the same way this voice up in the sky is talking to Kyle. Since the maze is a death experiment, the voice wants him to go in because, well, it gets him dead. And Kyle is more likely to listen to his subconscious than just a random person, so that's what the person says they are. That's also how they got this memory of the Bay Area, since they have control over Kyle's memories anyway. Another piece of evidence to support this is this person up here firing on Owen as Magic tries to tell him about the chips in this episode. Well, Magic telling him about the chips is against the rules. Those shots were never meant to hurt Owen, merely distract him from what Magic was telling him, making sure Magic didn't break the rules. They essentially... each one is a caretaker in a way. Anyway, onto this beacon flare thing. When you walk into the dark maze and go far enough in, there is a beacon flare, or something that looks like it. It is faint and it is flickering, but it is there. The question is, what is it there for? Well, what is its purpose? Well, I got a suggestion a while back by a user named NishonYT, essentially suggesting that there could be some sort of key at the beacon to a Sector 4, a hellhole. This is a lot worse than the original maze. Or perhaps this has something to do with the angel's levitation as a sort of exit pad of some sort. I'm not sure, but leave your thoughts below. I think the final thing I want to touch on is the book that they found. Sure, I could go over this thing, but I doubt it's that important. The book says the following. Welcome, outsiders. Mind your step. Dangers shrouded in darkness lie ahead. Toe to heel, quickly done, or none of you shall see the sun. Okay, the first thing I want to mention is mind your step. There are no actual traps in the dark maze that we've seen, so I think this is referring to the people themselves. Everyone who entered the dark maze has done something controversial in the past. Maybe it's warning them not to trust each other in some way? Perhaps these things are just warnings because, well, the creators know what these people have done in their last lives, so perhaps they know what could happen in the future? I'm not sure. The dangers shrouded in darkness are, just the grievers walking around, the ones that just straight up killed Moe. Toe to heel, quietly done. Remember this guy? The one I said I wasn't talking about? Well, I'm going to talk about it. He only came out when they were making noise. Perhaps these things are attracted to noise, but have very poor eyesight? And if you make too much noise in the dark maze, they come for you. Or maybe it's the same thing for grievers. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the one I find the most interesting. Else none of you will see the sun. This doesn't mean the sun. It means the beacon, because here's the thing. You could just dash out and some of them would survive. With this situation with Moe, there was one griever. That one griever couldn't kill all of them. So that means it can't be the actual sun that it's referring to. It's referring to the beacon. Which means I am sure that there is something at that beacon. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And it might just be the key to getting out. Or it could kill them all. Your choice or what to believe. Anyway, that's all from me. Comment your theories down below and maybe hit the like and subscribe buttons. Try and hit 300 by the end of the month. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.